Hey everyone, Mark Hessman here, host of On the Mark on News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app. Follow my show and all of my social media channels. You can hit me up on YouTube here, on YouTube channel, like and subscribe at Mark Hessman. You can also follow me on X/Twitter or Instagram at Mark Hesspen, MarkHespen. And as always, follow the show On the Mark, KHMO on Facebook. We do a Facebook Live every Saturday morning when we're on the air from 9 to 10 on News Talk 1070 KHMO. And tune in live. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. And we are in the middle of the NFL playoffs right now. So, of course, all the focus is on the playoffs. Normally, this time of the week, I'd be coming to you with my power rankings. We're done with the power rankings. We are past that. We are into the playoffs and the postseason, the big games. We have 4 gigantic games coming on up this weekend. I want to take a look at the lines. We're sitting here on Wednesday at 12:30 about Central Time. And so some of these lines are just, to me, a little confusing or weird. Where do I see some value early in the week? And which games do I say, wait on that, see if you can get a different number or maybe find an alternative line. These are all brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Shout out to FanDuel Sportsbook, as you know. Kick of Destiny. I was very much involved with the first Kick of Destiny, and I've been a loyal FanDuel bettor ever since. So shout out to the great people at FanDuel. Let's start with the Houston at Baltimore. Houston, 9.5-point underdogs, and the over-under 43.5. The over-under to me feels about right. I feel like this is going to be a more defensive game. We saw Houston's defense really show up. They really caused Joe Flacco a ton of headaches, the forced turnovers. And Baltimore's defense, we know what they can do. We saw what they did to San Francisco, saw what they did to Miami. They will gang tackle the you-know-what out of you. And they're not going to let these big yards after the catch, these big yak plays happen. So I'm actually comfortable with the over-under. I think it's a fairly decent set line. To me, the value would be of these two lines, plus 9.5 Houston or the over-under 43. Right now, it would take the under at 43.5. Houston 9.5 doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Baltimore's obviously really good. Baltimore deserves to be the 1 seed. But I think getting Houston 9.5 points with what I think is going to be a low-scoring game, there's some value there. I think Baltimore is absolutely going to win this game as of right now. That's what my gut's saying Wednesday. We'll make the official picks on the Saturday show. So I think Houston 9.5. I mean, that's the same amount of points that basically the Steelers were getting at Buffalo. I mean, not a lot of respect for Houston and what they did offensively to the Browns. Now, granted, they were at home, and granted, the Browns really fell apart, but there's a ton of rest versus rust debate here going on with Baltimore and Houston. I think right now, you can keep that line around 9.5, 10 points to get Houston. I think there's some really good value there. And I think the value's on the under, 43.5. It needs to be a low-scoring, tight game. Lamar Jackson really control the ball, control the clock. And so if you're looking at those two lines as of right now, according to FanDuel on this Wednesday afternoon, that's where I would lean. Green Bay 9.5 at San Francisco, over under 50.5. Here's one of the games where I actually like the over on it. I think this good game could get high scoring. Green Bay has really found their groove on offense right now. They are completely playing with a ton of confidence. They're playing with very little weight on their shoulders. It definitely feels like they're playing loose, like they have nothing to lose, and they absolutely have nothing to lose. This was a rebuilding year for the Green Bay Packers, and they find themselves in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. It's an incredible run that Green Bay's been on here over the last couple of weeks to find themselves in this spot and playing good football offensively, doing it. Green Bay's defense concerns me. You saw it get very leaky at the end of the game against Dak and the Cowboys. Now, again, that game got out of hand, and it doesn't shock me at all that Dallas scored a bunch of points late in the game to make it seem closer than it was. But throw out that game, throw out the Chicago game, their final game of the year when they were playing to win and get in, and Chicago's offense is a mess. Green Bay has struggled at times, and Kyle Shanahan and this staff and this offense, they're going to find the holes. Remember, Shanahan has owned LaFleur. So I know that San Francisco is going to be able to put up points. And I think Green Bay is going to score enough to keep this competitive to where it drives this over up. Even though I think San Francisco's defense plays well, they can give up some points and play well. And Green Bay right now is just playing with offensive confidence. The 9.5 is interesting. It's tough. I think, to me, the play is Green Bay plus 9.5 right now. If that gets any closer to 7.5, I think I'd lean towards San Francisco. Right now, this to me feels very much like a 33-21, 33-24, 33-27 type of game, and Green Bay kind of covering late. I think the line is pretty solid where it's at. I think FanDuel got it right here with 9.5 right now on this Wednesday afternoon. To me, the value in this game is the over 50.5. I think this goes over, mainly because San Francisco's going to score. And the Green Bay's offense, if they're anything like they were the last 2 weeks, Week 18 and the wildcard round, they're going to find a way to put up 20 points and let San Francisco take the rest, right? Let them get 30-plus and take the rest. As far as the Sunday games go, Tampa Bay plus 6.5 at Detroit. Over under 48.5. To me, I love seeing 48.5. I think this is way over. I think this is like go all in on the over. Detroit's going to score. Tampa's defense, while they're experienced, they're a little bit older. Philly was able to move the ball at times, but it was the most disjointed team I've ever seen. The Lions' offense is humming right now. You watch what they did against the Rams' defense, especially in the first half of that game. They came out firing on all cylinders. The Lions, I think, are going to be able to score 30-plus points on this Bucs defense. Now, Tampa Bay. This was a kind of they're in, playing unexpected territory. They're playing with house money. I think they're going to play loose. They're going to play free. But I think you're going to see the Detroit home field advantage and that Detroit pass rush with Hutchinson be able to affect Tampa Bay. I think the over is the play because I think this game gets a little out of hand. I think this game could be 35-20, 35-21. And Tampa, again, scoring late. I don't think Tampa's covering the 6.5. I'm surprised that's not a bigger line. To me, Houston 9.5, Tampa Bay 6.5. It almost feels like those lines should be switched. So, the Sharks know what they're doing. FanDuel knows what they're doing. And so I'd stay away from Tampa Bay 6.5. I would bet Detroit to cover that 6.5. And I'd also take the over 48.5. Again, the lines as of Wednesday around noon. We'll talk more about the lines, what they officially land at Saturday on the show on News Talk 1070 KHMO. Tune in On the Mark. Remember, like and subscribe here on the YouTube channel and then all social media at Mark Hespin. Finally, the game of the weekend, the game we're all looking forward to. CBS got a little screwed in I kind of like how, how the NFL treats their broadcast partners, right? CBS was supposed to have the noon game on Sunday, big rating, Steelers, Bills. It gets moved to this weird holiday, Martin Luther King 3:30 start on a Monday. I bet the rating for that game wasn't terrific because there was a lot of people working. And so what do? The NFL says, don't worry, we'll take care of you, CBS. We had to move your game. You're getting Bills Chiefs. You're getting it Sunday at 6 o'clock. This rating is going to be gigantic, and it's going to be a fantastic game. It is the game I think we're all looking forward to the most. It's the game that makes the most sense why the lines are the way they're at. Kansas City plus 2.5, over under 45.5. I think these lines are set really, really well. I like Buffalo. My gut's telling me to like Buffalo in a really close game. And my gut is telling me this is going to be a more low-scoring game. Now, what worries me is Buffalo lost another linebacker. Their defense has got some holes, but they're at home. And that home field advantage for this Buffalo team, finally getting to play the Chiefs at home. I think the only atmosphere that will be louder than Buffalo's will be Detroit's, and they'll both be absolutely bonkers. I think these are going to be real, true home field advantages for Buffalo and Detroit this weekend. That's going to play an effect. Kansas City, what I love so much about their win at Miami was that they didn't play to the weather. They just played their offense. They came out throwing. Patrick Mahomes threw the ball 40-plus times, while Pacheco also got 23, 24 carries. I mean, really, they didn't let the weather affect them at all, and they're not going to let it affect them in this game either. I think this line is perfect in both senses. I don't know where to go yet on this one. I would stay away from KC 2.5 and Buffalo over-under right now. If you have a team that you just think flat-out money line they're going to win, bet them KC versus Buffalo. I'll try to figure out a pick and where the line moves by Saturday. So tune in On the Mark, News Talk 1070 KHMO, the KHMO app. Follow me on all social media at Mark Hespin. Follow this show on Facebook. Search On the Mark KHMO on Facebook. And I'll see you Saturday morning for the show. Thanks, everyone.